Greetings everyone, Sizzle466 and EK here from Team One Trick. How you doing, EK?
What's up, everybody?
We're
doing pretty well. I'm excited for these nerfs.
Yeah, so we're here to talk about the nerfs that are going live tomorrow. We're going to start it off straight away, no frills, Cold Blood. It's been increased from 1 to 2 mana. So I anticipate they've done this because Odd Rogue is a little bit out of control.
Yeah, I mean, it's been the best deck in Wild. I mean, they have a lot of these nerfs in mind for Standard, but like, this one's a big one for Wild because Odd Rogue's been such a dominant force for like, what, 7 months, basically since Baku was printed?
Pretty much. So, I know these nerfs were done with Standard in mind, but I feel like this nerf is more relevant to Wild than Standard because Odd Rogue is just a powerhouse of a deck.
I mean, a nerf like this means, like, A, obviously you can't run it in Odd Rogue, but B, that just means Odd Rogue has less burst, so control feels a lot less pressure on them.
Yeah, and Kingsbane Rogue doesn't run Cold Blood or Leroy, so that deck's unaffected.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's like Odd Rogue kind of skating clean on that one, but Kingsbane Rogue skating clean on that one.
Yeah.
Odd Rogue's the big one.
Speaking of broken decks in Wild, Flame Tongue Totem is next. It's had its mana increase from 2 to 3. Do you think this could be because of Even Shaman?
I 100% think that it's because of Even Shaman, and I think that this nerf is a lot bigger of a deal than a lot of people think.
Yeah, so again, in Standard, Even Shaman is like low tier 2, but in Wild, it's just, again, powerhouse of a deck. Most people say tier 1, some tier 2, but most people tier 1.
Yeah.
The big question I've been getting from people is, what do we replace Flame Tongue Totem with? And a lot of people are saying Direwolf Alpha, but the reason I don't like that line of thinking is, well, think about when Patches got nerfed. Were people replacing Patches with Stone Tusk Boar? No. I don't think that argument applies here to Flame Tongue either. I really don't think Direwolf Alpha is the substitute.
There's just a huge difference between +1 attack and +2 attack, and B, Direwolf Alpha plays even harder into things like Light Bomb and like all that kind of stuff, which is super popular in the format.
Also, Flame Tongue Totem is a totem, and Think from Below dodge the Banhammer. So,
yes, but this is still kind of like a soft nerf to Think from Below, because this is the kind of card that you're trying to carve out early with. So that's one less tick you have on the Think from Below reduction.
Yeah, that's true.
Which drastically decreases the speed that you get that out.
For sure. Yeah, so I think, considering the top 2 aggro decks have been nerfed, I think we're going to see a bit of a shake-up in the Wild meta.
I mean, depends on who you ask, because Kingsbane Rogue is really good in a lot of people's opinion. Is a deck. But like 2 of the best decks are getting a pretty big hit, so
for sure
it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Now the next card we're looking at is Equality. So Equality has been bumped from 2 to 4 mana. I personally don't think Equality is a big problem in Wild. Control Exodia Paladins aren't really that relevant. But I played a bit of Standard last month, and I could tell you I queued into a ton of Paladins doing obnoxious things, and Equality was helping them do that.
Yeah. So I think in slower Paladins, like, you're just going to see Shrink Ray now. And I guess the one other Paladin deck to keep in mind right now is that, like, aggro Giants Anyfin Paladin. But like you and I have said, like, on your stream and stuff like that, that deck probably shouldn't even be running Equality in the first place. So this just kind of solidifies that.
Yeah, I personally don't think Anyfin Giants Paladin is going to lose any power because of this. I think you just throw in some Knife Jugglers or just something else, and I think the deck will be fine.
Yeah, I mean, the deck high rolls as it is. It doesn't need Equality. Like, you're hard pressed to fight for board in the first place, and Equality was already a 1-of anyway, so it was pretty inconsistent that you got it.
Yeah, so I mean, Paladin's in a pretty rough spot in Wild. Anyfin Paladin is probably the best deck. Odd Paladin is still kind of a thing. What do you think about Equality being 4 and not 3? Do you think it was because of Odd Pally, or do you think it's something else?
I think it would. They didn't outright say it was because of Odd Paladin, but like it's a side effect of the whole Gen and Baku being a thing kind of issue.
Yeah.
Though if you think about it though, Paladin board wipes start at 6 mana now, as opposed to 4 mana with the Wild Pyromancer.
Yeah. So I mean,
and if you want to quality consecrate, it's your entire turn late game.
Yeah.
Like, it's a big deal.
But I don't think this is a big deal for Wild.
No.
I think it's kind of Doesn't really matter.
It's a thing. Some people might feel the repercussions if you're a Control Paladin enthusiast, but at the end of the day, it's a thing.
Yeah. And the last card to me... Oh no, sorry, 2 more cards. Hunter's Mark. We'll do these ones together. So Hunter's Mark and Emerald Spellstone, they both had their mana increased by 1. So Hunter's Mark now costs 2 mana. Emerald Spellstone now costs 6 mana. I'm aware that Hunter is a powerhouse in Standard. I believe in the last Temperstorm report, I think there were 4 Hunter decks in Tier 1 or something like that.
Standard is basically OTK versus Hunter right now. So,
but in Wild, Hunter's like Tier 2, Tier 3. I don't
there's Duin slugging it out in the trenches and his followers, and that's about it.
Yeah, so I mean, does Hunter's Mark, do they even play it in Spell Hunter in Wild? I don't even know.
You play it as a one-of usually, just to kind of get through a key taunt.
Yeah, and to be honest, I would still play it for 2 mana.
Yeah, it's incredibly powerful.
Remember, this is the second time it's been nerfed. It used to be 0 mana.
It is tied for the most nerfed card in the history of Hearthstone.
Yeah. So I think people will still run Hunter's Mark. Spellstone though, I don't know, 6 mana. It's a pretty important. Turn 6 is pretty important for Hunters. Last time I checked.
I mean, if you think about it though, it's still 6 mana for 4/12 or for 4 3/3s. Like, that's still really good.
Yeah.
It kind of just shows you how good Spellstone was in the first place.
Yeah. So I mean, I think against control decks, this isn't a huge deal because you still got your light bombs. Warriors have their Blade Flurry. Well, no, not Blade Flurry.
Reckless Flurry.
Reckless Flurry. But I think against aggro, it's definitely worse because it gives aggro a better chance to react to it.
It gives aggro an extra turn to set up for it.
Yeah.
You no longer can you get like the pretty much instant win on the spot of Secret Keeper play out of Cloaked Huntress play out of Christmas Tree Secrets and then coin into Spellstone.
Exactly.
You can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But like, it's still really powerful, and the secrets that you're setting up usually can buy you that time to get it out on turn 5 or turn 6 anyway.
Yeah.
So
I'll be interested to see if Hunter can survive through this in Wild because it's not. It wasn't in the best spot already, but we'll see what happens.
It's a specialist deck, but the people who are good at playing it are putting up really good results. So.
Oh, for sure. So those are the nerfs that are coming. Do you have any final thoughts, EK, about how? I mean, maybe like about how Blizzard has approached this.
I'm of the belief that like any change is a good change. I do think that Gen and Baku are extremely restrictive, and are going to dictate a lot of like nerfs and cards that come out at certain mana costs and stuff like that. But that's a completely different can of worms that we can talk about in another video. For
sure. But if you want to voice your concerns or thoughts about this as well, anyone's welcome to comment below.
Down there.
We're really excited for tomorrow, Tuesday, February 5, Nerfs. It's going to be a fun day on the ladder. It's always fun to experiment.
Yeah.
And I heard you got a secret Reno mage you're cooking up, EK, to release on the world.
4.
Oh,
I have
dear.
4.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Well, until next time, if you like what you see, the subscribe button is below. Team One Trick also tweet all sorts of stuff at twitter.com/Team One Trick. So we'd like to thank you all so much for watching. Hope to see you again.